The second pick has been made. Aidan Hutchison stays home. Kid from Michigan that played at Michigan now goes to the Detroit Lions. He was on Spain and Fitz on radio with me the other day, and I asked him if he ended up getting picked second, was he ready for the number of ticket requests that were going to come in? What was interesting, though, he did say he had never paid attention to mock drafts until his friends started hitting him with it, and he would wake up every week with hundreds of texts from his friends about the mock drafts. Domonique, from a player standpoint, you want to be close to home? You want to be that close to home?
I played in Baltimore, city I grew up in. It kind of stinks.
Really?
What? Yeah. No, I mean, I guess it just because there's a whole nother dynamic that you were not accounting for, you weren't predicting. Like, it's nice to like be able to go back to your high school or go back to your old friends. It's nice, but it's also annoying when when I got drafted by Denver, there's a whole lot of distance between all the requests, and it's not just ticket requests. It's things that people want, things that people need. People who you grew up with are a fan of the team, so you don't play well, which I didn't all the time. It's hard. I don't think Aidan will have that problem. He's going to get 15 sacks in his first season, and everyone's going to love him.
I love this fit, not just because of the city, but because of the way Detroit is building this team right now with GM Brad Holmes, head coach Dan Campbell, from the inside out. Like, the offensive line is already set, which is so unusual for a bad football team, and they've been focused on that interior of the defensive line. Now they have found their edge rusher. The trenches are going to become a real strength for Detroit, and I love that.
I'm so happy for them. I'm thrilled for them, and like the dynamics of if being from their side or not. Like, how often do you take a player number 2 overall and get a value?
Yeah.
Like, and I understand that in a different year, who knows where Aidan Hutchison goes, but like, you get the number 2 overall pick and you get a value play. That to me, I think, is so special and so cool. And I remember last year, all the video was released when the Lions got Penei Sewell, which came on the heels of the Dolphins trading up to take Jalen Waddle 6th. Remember the video of Dan Campbell and also their GM Brad Holmes like freaking out in the draft room? Give it, I don't know, 15, 20 minutes. We're going to see that video again. Because I'm sure doing backflips right now. This guy is, Mina mentioned earlier, like the argument for Trayvon Walker is that he has more upside. Like, that's what people will say. Are we sure about that? Like, are we sure that Aidan Hutchison doesn't have massive upside?
I've been on this
You've said this
all
a
day.
bunch. Yeah.
The dude ran the fastest 3-cone for someone his size since 2003, and we're acting like he's Rudy. It drives me nuts.
But like, is it not a little disingenuous to not acknowledge, at least like every college football show I hosted the entire fall, it was like, watch Kayvon Thibodeau, he could be the first pick in the draft. And then we get through this whole process, and it's like, no, like Aidan's actually got more, whatever. So I think that's part of where the narrative comes from, is because a lot of us coming into the season, we're really in love with somebody that, frankly, is now, sitting here at number 3 and not at number 1.
I think the point that Mina was making earlier, and I think you piggybacked on a bit, Field, is how strong they are up front. And this is something that I think is incredibly important for winning in football, is having, not just winning up front, but having something that you can depend on. And your game plan is built out from that. If you have a shutdown corner that you don't have to put double on, that you don't have to double cover on, you can put that help elsewhere. If you have a defensive line that is going to get pressure all the time, then you can play more coverage. If you have an offensive line that you know can run block and protect, like, this is important to me. It seems like it's a strategy. Like, there's a strategy here. It's not just like, hey, that guy looks good, bring him in. They had decided, it feels clear to me that they decided when they got there that we're going to try to build inside out.
Thank you for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.